Hello students, myself Professor Ankur. I welcome everyone for the GATE theory session on analog circuits. Today we are going to cover an important topic on MOSFET basics. So this is the first part of our MOSFET chapter. Let's start with now MOSFET basics. So in electronic devices, we have seen what do you mean by MOSFET as a device. But as a small introduction, or you can say a revision, we are going to discuss now our requirements with respect to the analog circuit topic. So MOSFET is basically metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor, and it was actually realized so that it is much better compared to the FET and the BJT family with respect to the input impedance, the speed of performance, or you can say the operating speed, as well as other advantages like noise rejection and many more. So the MOSFET can be designed in two types, enhancement mode and depletion mode, and both of them will give you N channel as well as P channel. So overall, if you see the MOSFET family, there are in all 4 MOSFETs, 2 in each type. So when you try to compare the families of BJT, FET and MOSFET, it is clearly seen that whenever we talk about the input impedance, the MOSFET gives the best performance, as well as for the output impedance, it is giving the best performance. Operating speed is very high and noise impact is very low. Thermal stability is very high. And that's the reason when you see the CMOS technology integrated circuits, elements like MOSFETs were preferred over the families of BJT and FET. So when you talk about the structures of both the MOSFETs, the right hand side figure corresponds to the depletion MOS. The device is going to have 4 terminals: source, gate, drain, and the last body terminal is normally defined as the substrate terminal. The source and the drain are made up of N region, and there is a center channel region which is also doped with the N region, and the gate is basically isolated with the help of an SiO2 layer. And because of the SiO2 layer, we are having very high input impedance at the input terminal of the device. When you try to compare the D MOSFET with the E MOSFET, the structural representation is almost the same. With a small change in the structure, the channel will be absent. So we do have the channel region, but we don't have the physical existence of the channel in enhancement type. So in the enhancement type, the channel has to be created, then only the device will operate. So that's a basic difference between the EMOS and the DMOS. So now we are looking at the depletion type MOSFET characteristics. So here we are having the channel present inside the structure. So whenever you try to operate the device, we actually go for a connection or potential at the gate terminal. So if your observation is very sharp, under VGS value as 0, so whenever the device is not operated for any value of VGS, that time whatever current is obtained during the operation, that current will be corresponding to the IDSS. And as and when you keep on giving more and more negative voltage to the VGS terminal, the conduction of the device will keep on decreasing, or you can say depleting. At one particular point of the VGS, you will find that the current will almost go to 0. That is what you mean by effect of pinch off. So that's the reason when you see the adjacent graph, you can clearly observe the characteristics of current ID versus the input voltage VGS, where when the VGS is 0, you get the maximum current corresponding to the device, that will be IDSS. And as and when the VGS goes more and more on the negative side, the current will keep on depleting, and at one particular point, the current value will go to 0. Now this is basically the depletion mode of the device. Under enhancement mode, you can actually get a small incremental rise in the drain current. Practically, if you see, the graph of VGS equal to +1 and VGS equal to 0 will actually superimpose on each other, because there is only a very small incremental rise in the drain current. What you see in the graph figure is basically just a hypothetical impression that is going to give you an impact of enhancement. But practically speaking, the entire operation happens with respect to the depletion mode only. And that's the reason this MOSFET category was defined as a depletion type MOSFET. So the equation that will be followed here, which will going to be ID is equal to IDSS 1 minus VGS by V peak the whole square. If you observe the equation and the characteristics carefully, they are resembling the characteristics of the FET device. So whatever equations we have for the FET family, these equations can be carried directly for the depletion type MOSFET family. Now, when we go for the enhancement characteristics, as we have discussed at the start, the enhancement type MOSFET does not have a channel. So we need some potential across VGS to form the channel. So that voltage will be defined as the threshold voltage. And that is a point when the channel will be formed and you will get the smallest amount of conduction current. And then later on, when the VGS value keeps on increasing, the channel becomes more and more stronger, which will be supporting higher capacity of charge count, and automatically the capacity of the device to carry higher current will increase. And that's the reason the current will keep on rising. So when you see the output characteristics, you can see ID versus VDS. For higher values of VGS, you can see higher values of the drain current. Obviously, for rise in VDS, after a particular point, the current is going to become constant. So in enhancement type, we are actually trying to enhance the count of electrons in the channel region, and then we get conduction. And that's the reason it is defined as eMOSFET. When you look at the characteristics, these characteristics are not same as your depletion type MOSFET, or neither they are resembling the FET structure. So eventually the equations for eMOSFETs will be different compared to the DMOSFET family. So here we can see the four symbolic representation of the MOSFET family. So as along with that, we can see the characteristics of ID versus VGS also. So we have already discussed the operation of N-channel DMOSFET and N-channel eMOSFET, and the reverse logic will be designed for P-channel DMOSFET as well as P-channel eMOSFET. So when we talk about the characteristics region of the device, so I'm looking at the graph of ID versus VDS. You can see the shaded region, which is basically defined as the triode region or the linear region. In this region, you will find the value of VDS will be less than VGS minus VT. And when we talk about the saturation region, where the device operates like a constant current device, that time the value of VDS will be greater than VGS minus VT. This is also defined as the active region or the amplification region of the device. And the lower shaded region, where you can see the value of VGS is less than the threshold, the device will work in the off state. So it is also defined as the cutoff region of the eMOSFET family. So when we talk about the current equation, as I've said, the current equations are not same for eMOSFET when you compare it with the DMOSFET. In the cutoff region, when the VGS is less than VT, the IDS value will be 0. So we are discussing the N-channel MOSFET equation. And when we talk about the linear region, the VGS is greater than VT, but VDS is less than VG minus VT. Under this situation, you have the equation for drain current mu Cox W by L bracket VGS minus VT VDS minus of VDS square by 2. So where mu Cox W by L are basically a parameter that will be used in defining the conduction constant of the eMOSFET. W by L is basically defined as the aspect ratio of the channel. Cox corresponds to the oxide capacitance, and mu N stands for mobility of electron. When we go for the saturation region, where the VDS is greater than VG minus VT, the saturation region also corresponds to the amplification region of the eMOSFET. That time the equation we can use is half W by L mu Cox bracket VGS minus VT the whole square. Now the notations that we are using here for N-channel eMOSFET is basically when you go for P-channel, the notations will get slightly reverse. Instead of VGS, we will be discussing VSG. So the slight changes in the P MOSFET equations will happen. So when I go for the linear region, the current will be ISD mu P Cox W by L big bracket VGS minus mod of VT VSD minus of VSD square by 2. And when we talk about the saturation region, it will be half mu P Cox W by L VSG minus VT the whole square. So this is the way the current calculation can happen with respect to N-channel eMOSFET and P-channel eMOSFET. When we go for calculation of transconductance, so transconductance is basically a device parameter. This device MOSFET is coming from the family of voltage control device, implies the output current of the device ID will be controlled with respect to the variations of the input voltage VGS. So when I talk about the transconductance, it's a ratio of output current, change in output current with respect to the change in input voltage. So GM is the transconductance of the device defined as del ID by del VGS. The unit is going to be Siemens. So now we go for the equation, and the equation is GM is equal to GMO 1 minus VGS by VGS off. The VGS off is also notified as VP. So this is basically for the depletion type MOSFET. When we go for calculation of GMO, the GMO value is twice IDSS by mod of VGS off or twice IDSS by mod of VP. When we go for the E MOSFET, we have a slight variation in the equation. The equation that we used for the drain current was ID is equal to K VGS minus VT the whole square, where K is basically a constant that is including half W by L mu C ox. So now when I go for GM, I go for del ID by del VGS. So that is the differentiation of the drain current with respect to VGS. So on solving, you will get the value of GM as twice under root of ID into K. So this is the way we actually define the transconductance of E MOSFET. So overall, if you observe carefully, you will get two types of MOSFET, D MOSFET and E MOSFET. D MOSFETs are resembling the characteristics of FET, and E MOSFETs are completely different. The equations that we get for D MOSFET, they are actually similar to the equations that we use in FET, whereas in E MOSFET, we have completely set of new equations, and now you will get sums in the sum sessions, which can include D MOSFET, E MOSFET, or even combination of both. Thank you.